Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Wife finally confessed of cheating with her coworker 11 years ago when we are still live-in partners with a 2-year-old son. Reconciliation. It happened 11 years ago when I was still 27 and she is about 30. We've been together that time for 8 years as live-in partners. And we have a son who was 2 years old at that time. Now I'm 38M, and my now wife is already 41F. We've been together 19 years, married for 11 years. We have 2 more kids now, 8M and the youngest is 6F. English is not my first language, so please bear with me. First 8 years living together, we have our ups and downs but still stick and fight for each other. We really have no major problems in our relationship and we were very close. Before I met her, I came from a 4-year relationship and my ex cheated on me. That's why it's hard for me to trust fully again. Interestingly enough, she also had a boyfriend for 1 month when we met. They didn't really have the chance to be together since she left to work in my area right after she accepted him. She said there was really no connection between them. I find it interesting because she accepted me while still not ending it with him. Eventually she went back to that place and ended it with him because of me. It's really hard for me to trust her, but eventually I gave it all to her, especially when we are already living together and have a child. I was really confident that there was nothing to worry about her loyalty since she is busy taking care of our child and she is a very caring partner and mother. The problem started when she decided to work again. I stopped working that time to finish my last year in college. We decided to have my mother take care of our kid while she works and I study. My mother is living in another area which is a little far. So when we took our son to her, it took us a day to travel to her place. We stayed for a month with my mother and went back together. Everything was good between us. She works while I study. And after 6 months we decided to get our son back. This time I will get my son alone since my partner is already working. I stayed there for 3 weeks before coming back now with my son with me. My partner was left alone in our apartment the whole time. During those times, we are already having some issues with her work because her workmates like to go out and have a drink after work sometimes. This leads to fights between me and her because she became entitled and she is already very stubborn. I specifically ask her to avoid his kinds of activities, but she always says that she is with friends and also her cousins are with them so she is safe. Some of her cousins are also her workmates. During the time I am away, we are constantly calling and texting each other daily. So there is nothing unusual really to think about. When me and my son got back, I noticed she was more sweet and a little more active in bed than usual. But I thought she just missed me for the 3 weeks I am away, so I am happy to give it to her. After a month I heard her phone text message and out of curiosity I opened the message. I saw that it was from someone from her work, and she texted back saying stop texting me here, my live-in partner might read it. This was the time my knees shook, my chest felt like there was a hole, it's hard to breathe. She hurriedly came and tried to get the phone but I took it out of her reach. I asked who the F is this guy she is texting about me. She said he is nothing and she needs to go to her sister's house to have her hair done for the company Christmas party event scheduled that evening. I told her she can't take her phone. When she left, I replied back to the number, and received a reply as well. Surprisingly it is the partner of the guy my partner is texting. Apparently the guy left his phone open as well. She told me that her partner and my partner might be having an affair at work. She has been suspecting him for a while now and the text messages I sent to him that morning proves some of her suspicion. I told her if it's okay for me to meet her in person for me to read the text messages from my wife myself and she agreed. I took my son to my partner's sister's house. She is also there having her hair done with her sister. I told her I am meeting someone and she has some explaining to do when I get back. Finally I met her AP girlfriend and she let me read all the text messages between my partner and her AP. His girlfriend also told me that there was a particular night that he did not come home, and somebody saw him with my partner drinking with friends and having a great time together dancing. She said they looked like more than friends that night. They are always together and they disappear later. This was the hardest blow on me. I was not home during that time. It was within the 3 weeks I was away with my son in my mother's place. I was really shocked. I can't think straight. The AP girlfriend said she confronted my partner at work, but she said nothing happened that night and that she was just friends. She just asked him for a ride home because she couldn't find a cab that time. She didn't believe it, of course, and so am I. After that I thanked her and apologized about what happened. I went home and confronted my partner that evening after she came back from their company Christmas party. It was a very emotional time. I asked her to tell me the truth, but she just told me nothing happened that night. I was so hurt and dismayed that she got involved in this kind of mess. I was really furious and already thinking of leaving that time. But for some reason we didn't separate, and my son is the main reason for it. She keeps on telling me nothing happened to them that night and the guy just dropped her off at our gate and she made him leave right away. In my heart I know there is more to it, but I decided to accept it and moved on. I forced my mind to forget about it and get it completely out of my mind. I got sick that time, so I needed her at my side to take care of me. She still stayed in her work for another year and finally resigned. She told me she never talked to him again at work after that event and never went near him again even before our confrontation. And just completely ignored him at work. Somehow I believed her since I have access to all her devices during that time, and she no longer goes out to drink with her workmates after work. After 2 years I heard that the guy died due to a motorcycle accident, and my partner didn't show anything that told me is affected by the news or something. So finally we are already moved on, and she got pregnant again with our second son. We got married that year and everything is normal again. Sometimes when we fight I bring the issue back with her now dead AP to get the upper hand, but she is always defensive and tells me to let the man rest in peace. After a year she got pregnant again with our youngest. Everything was running normal until almost a month ago we had a fight and I brought the topic again to her. She got really mad and told me when will I stop asking her about it. I just felt there was something that day, that's why I pushed it a little further. I told her that somebody saw them arrive at our apartment that night and he went inside with her and his motorcycle parked there till morning. I assumed this, nobody really told me about it. I just told her a lie to relate it to what she told me that night when he dropped him off at our gate and left right away. I did not share this information with her before. I noticed she was taken aback by this and asked me right away who is the person who told me that and why only now she found out about it. I lied again and told her he knows me, but she did not know him. He was a new friend in the neighborhood. Then she got defensive again, and told me yes, she let him inside but only to drink because he asked for a glass of water. Noticing the changes in her story I know I got her now. Then I asked her how long she stayed, she said just a couple of minutes. Then I told her she was lying. My friend told me he stayed until morning. I reiterated that the motorcycle was parked until morning. Now she is hyperventilating. I asked her again, did they do it that night? She said no. She confessed they kissed and some fondling while embracing because she is drunk, but that's it. I asked again if they did it and she told me he tried to ask for it but she refused because she thought about me. She was about to cry telling me nothing really happened, but I am not satisfied with that. We were going in circles and she just kept on denying it. Then I got an idea. I told her okay, I believe her now. Whatever she's telling me that nothing happened, I will accept it. But I told her here I am at my weakest in front of you. You can look at me straight in my eyes and swear that what you are saying is true and I accept it and believe you. But if you are still lying, I am the most miserable man in the world. God knows my pain and God knows how you lied to me. If you still have a small amount of respect and love for your husband, you will be hurt too to just lie again in front of his face in his most vulnerable state. I teared a little and she looked me straight in the eyes. I added that if there is still anything to confess, I might as well do it now. I told her I will forgive her if she says sorry for what she did. I created a safe deal for her that I am ready to forgive her if she just laid it all out and confessed it that night. Then she cried and finally confessed that they did it. She allowed him to do it to her on our sofa. I asked how long they did it. She told me only about 3 to 5 minutes. He did not finish because when she realized what was happening and came back to her senses, she kicked him to get off and she cried and told him bad things. He asked what happened and she just kept on blaming him. She realized that what she did was very wrong and told him, I am going to get very upset and hurt if I found out. He asked her to at least let him finish because he might have pain if he didn't finish, but she already refused and asked him to leave. She told me he left right away and she cried and had the longest shower in her life. She felt really dirty and she is about to lose her mind. She said he took advantage of her even if she refused at first by kissing her and fondling her. He told her, I am far away and no one will know if no one will tell, and he will not make her pregnant. He became more aggressive towards her and she felt fear what he will do if she still refused. She didn't know what made her give in, but she just felt to let him do it to get it over with, and she shut him out of her mind and think of me. She locked her mind on me while he started using her. She said she didn't feel anything when he was doing it because he was really small and uncircumcised. And also she felt numb due to alcohol. That woke me a little. She just told me she shuts him off and thinks about me all the time, but when she realized he is not finished due to alcohol, I guess, she kicked him off. Then that's it. I was shocked hearing all these details coming from her. My world turned upside down. But I still talked to her and told her I will keep my promise to forgive her. Then we decided to stop our conversation and proceed to bed. I told her not to worry, but my head was spinning that time. She told me she fears that her confession changed the way I looked at her and I will leave her. I answered, don't worry about anything right now, we will face this step by step. But my mind is about to explode. She then proceeded to arouse me and we did it that night, but she is the only one who did all the work. I didn't sleep well that night. After I decided to get more details about what happened that night. But she stuck to her original story that he didn't finish and said sorry again for what she did and she is willing to do anything for me to forgive her and not leave her. She said she has also been suffering all those years she lied to me about it. She developed anxiety because of it and got depressed because it is eating her inside. She just told me the reason she lied for 11 years is because she doesn't want to hurt me and she doesn't want our family to be destroyed because our kids will suffer the most. She knows how she disrespected and destroyed my trust when she let him in our place and did what they did, and she regretted every moment of it and it was just a mistake. She didn't plan it and he just took advantage of her weakness that night. She told me she didn't love him and it was just a pure mistake that night. She even told me she wants to tell her sister about it and wants to know if she can report him because she felt scared and forced but decided not to proceed because of fear if I found out. I think about all she said but I no longer believe all of them. I asked her if it's impossible that she doesn't have any feelings for him. She told me they are always together at work due to their task and he showed her interest and always gives her food and asks if she has already eaten. She confessed that maybe she has a little feelings for him but not that she already loves him. She just likes him a little, she thinks, because of the attention and that's it. I asked her if she felt attracted to him and she said no. She just likes the company he provides and the attention. She did not love him at all. After almost a month since D-Day, we are doing okay for the kids and we decided to keep things the same. But I told her I am still deciding what will happen and I still haven't forgiven her. Yes, I thought when I said to her I would forgive her if she confessed, but I ate my words. I told her I am only human and I thought it would be that easy, but I realized I can't forgive her yet. We had a sharing therapy every night before sleeping where we gave each other time to speak and share our thoughts without the other interrupting or commenting. The other job is just listening the whole time and sleeping after. Then it's the other turn to share, reflect about the thoughts about what the partner shared the previous night. The absolute rule is to be completely honest about it and share what you feel. This helps a lot because I asked her to give me a timeline about them and I just listened. She shared all the things she can remember, the lunch dates, the conversations, the things he shared to her and all. She even shared that he asked her to leave me and be with him. I also shared what I think about the things she shared and how I feel about it. This helped me somehow because there are some details that were uncovered as well through our sharing that were not shared during D-Day. I am experiencing deep hurt episodes where I am feeling very angry and my mind is stocking the details she shared that night. But I am also relieved that it brought light to the things that happened that night. I no longer imagine things and I already know the details. I made sure she shows all of it when I experience a deep hurt episode and she is very supportive. I am now starting to accept her little by little. She agreed to all my conditions and followed all the things I wanted to do to make things better between us. I thought her pride and ego would be in the way, but she endured it. She said the only thing she will not be able to take is when I will find another woman and have feelings with her. Right now there are still ups and downs, but I no longer mind staying longer with her. I learned to look at her again, but the pain still comes when I think about what he did to her that night. Is this normal? Even if AP is already dead a long time ago, I still feel jealous and hurt because of him. It still hurts when I watch videos and see the position that is similar to what my wife and her AP did that night. Is there still a chance for me to fully forgive her eventually? For all the things she did, does she still deserve a second chance? Thank you, I'll appreciate all your comments and thoughts. Update: wife finally confessed of cheating with her co-worker 11 years ago when we are still live-in partners with a 2-year-old son. To see my original post, you can look for it on my profile with the same title. This is just an update regarding my previous post. Once again, I appreciate all your comments and suggestions. Be warned that this is also a long post, and English is my second language, so please bear with me. We are still working to reconcile, and I can say that time does really have a huge factor for me in dealing with all of this. I decided to stay and give it another chance, but with some changes in terms of our setup. We agreed that I have one pass to have another relationship and I can use this pass anytime I want. Especially if I see that she is not serious about this reconciliation. The only condition is that she needs to know about it. She is now open with all her devices, and will let me know if someone is trying to hit on her at work or anywhere, in any way, so that we can fix it early. She will need to avoid any issues, or involvement, related to infidelity, or even having me once again suspecting her of something at all costs, because she only has a second chance and no option for a third. She is always doing her best to help in our reconciliation, and I can say that she is very remorseful and she regrets the mistake she made in our relationship. We continue to live as normal as possible with our kids, but I still have deep hurt episodes every time I remember once in a while. It's not that difficult to handle anymore compared to the days just after D-Day, but I still let her know how I feel and how she destroyed my trust. I made her do some things for me to help me and us cope with all of this, and she has no complaints except for one thing. We are the only ones who know about our problem, and nobody else from her side of the family and mine knows this. I believe that the root cause of her cheating on me is her being selfish, and I want to test her by making her do the thing that I believe she fears the most as a selfish person. Based on how I've known her, she values her reputation a lot with our friends and family. She doesn't want her reputation to be tainted or destroyed. To test her, I asked her to confess her infidelity to both our parents only, and we will ask them to keep all of this just between us and nobody else from our families will know, and we will ask their advice regarding our reconciliation. I decided to just let her confess to our parents only and not to other members of our families and friends, because based on what I observed when I told her about this test is that her reaction was very genuine. The horror in her eyes realizing that both our parents will know about our mistake was very real. This is the most difficult thing I asked of her according to her. And she is trying to ask me to give her another test. She wants us to just keep this a secret and deal with it on our own. But I insist that I need to see, and she can really prove to me that this is still all worth it by doing this. I told her that since I considered her selfishness as the main enemy, I want us to beat it by making her do the ultimate sacrifice for me, her reputation to our parents. It should be our whole family and friends, but I decided to just make her confess to both our parents to save her dignity to others, since we are reconciling, and she is the mother of my children, so I just need her to prove to me one thing: if she can do this ultimate sacrifice. According to her, this is the ultimate sacrifice. She agreed eventually and just asked me to give her a little time to confess to her parents first, then once done, she will also do the same with mine. I told her that once she did this, I will consider this a victory and will help a lot in our reconciliation. I told her once she did this, I will lose my past to have another relationship and will just focus on her again. I will be her partner again in everything and we will move on from this mess she made. Only one thing, I made it clear to her that I can forgive her, but I will never forgive what she did, because cheating in any form is unforgivable and unacceptable in any relationship. I just want to know, for those of you who decided to reconcile and did it successfully, what is the best test you think is necessary for you to prove that your marriage is still worth another chance? I considered a lot of things, like our kids, our life in 19 years we made together, though more than half of it she lied to me. And also my feelings towards her. I believe that she is remorseful and regretted her mistake 11 years ago, and she devoted her life to me and our family after that. All my kids are mine according to DNA results, and we are negative to any STDs. Though she lied for 11 years, I believe that she only did it to keep our family whole. It sucks on my part being cheated and being lied to, but as mentioned on the first part of this post, that time really does have a big factor on how you deal with things. And life is a lot bigger than focusing only on the negative side of things. I believe that we will always encounter failures, and starting new is not always the best option for all. My heart goes out for all those betrayed spouses like me, especially male spouses. I know your pain and I want you to know it's okay to cry. I hope we all find the peace we are looking for, and we will be able to give our love and trust again. Update 2, wife finally confessed of cheating with her coworker 11 years ago when we are still live-in partners with a 2-year-old son. More than 3 months after D-Day. She already confessed to both our parents. They were both very disappointed in her, but it's obvious that they both want us to work it out and not separate because of the kids. I am satisfied because she did it, even if it's very difficult for her. I am confident on my parents' side, since I am the one who opened it to them, giving them the summary of the affair, and my wife talked to them and apologized. They accepted her apology and advised her to not do it again, and she will need to earn my trust again, and not let the children know about the affair. But on her parents' side, this is where I have doubts if she really shared all the necessary details of the affair to them. I was not beside her when she confessed to her parents. But I was in another room, and they all joined me afterwards, and my wife told me that she already confessed to them. I was waiting for their reaction, but they just chose not to talk about it. I mean, I completely understand that they will feel uncomfortable to speak about it because it's about their daughter, but it would have been way better if they did. Now I have doubts about if she really told her parents all the necessary details, including the part that she slept with the AP. She told me she did tell them about it, and they were shocked and asked her why she had an affair when everything was going well between us at that time. She said that she answered she didn't know why she did it. She told me they advised her the same thing my parents advised her, and they also said that we resolve this problem for the kids. I thought things will get better after this, but I am still unsatisfied. Though this added a huge plus on her towards Zara, but I still feel hurt and betrayed if I look at her, especially if there are triggers. I still have my pass and will use it without her knowing if needed. I also applied the true remorse test, and out of 6 conditions, she already passed 3: patience, owning her bad decision by confessing to our parents, and financial support/responsibility. She is still working on. I am yet to decide if I am convinced, regarding her full honesty, her initiating and actively doing her part towards and her overall attitude towards me and the children. If she convinced me on the remaining conditions, while still maintaining the first 3 conditions that she already passed, then that's the time I can say that she is truly remorseful. I have little additional confessions from her, like some details she held back during her initial disclosures, like small details about that night when they did it. The one significant change was when she confessed that the AP might have unloaded a little inside her but was unable to unload it all inside because she noticed and anticipated it and suddenly kicked him off as quickly as she could. She was very mad because he really did want to finish inside her despite their agreement for him not to. Though she recalled she was on birth control pills that time. We are on birth control during that time. Obviously she is familiar and knows if a man is about to unload inside her, probably using her years of experience with me as reference. She said when she noticed that he's doing it harder and faster, she knows he is about to unload, and when she felt him becoming stiff and slowing down, she kicked him off immediately, cursing at him at the same time. He protested and begged her to let him finish, but she already went to the bathroom and took a shower. This may sound crazy, and I did not believe her of course, but she explained that she has nothing more to hide, she is bringing it all out in the open. I know this sucks on my part finding out about it, and here I am listening to all of this, but that's all what really happened according to her. And she is fully aware that him finishing all inside, or just a little bit, doesn't matter to me anymore. She understands that this hurts me just the same, and she is really sorry and regret the decision she made that night with him. She really just wants to be fully honest with me, and she will try to remember other things that she might have forgotten, and will disclose them to me. She really wants to pass the full disclosure / full honesty condition, true remorse test. Right now I am still not okay. So many triggers and it sucks. I have no direction right now. I don't know if our efforts will work. I look at our kids and think, how will they handle it if we separated and just co-parent them? It breaks me thinking, what if my children, especially my daughter, find out? It will surely break their hearts, and they will cry because we are already a broken family. Note, this is just an update. Second, you can read my full story, part 1 and part 2, on my profile with the same title. Those are long posts, be warned. Let her go. You can never trust her again, and why couldn't your wife there when she told her parents? You keep giving her so much respect even though she disrespected you and your relationship. Let her go and figure out a way to co-parent. Also yes, DNA the kids. You do need to know, what if they aren't yours? DNA test the kids ASAP. DNA the kids, fella, you never know. Make sure she told the truth to her parents. I would get a post-nup with all the terms and conditions you want to continue the relationship. Whether it be a free pass, therapy, or terms in case of divorce. She cheated, so it's time for her to prove herself by following anything you want on a post-nup agreement. Also DNA the kids. 11 years ago is a long time, and I wouldn't believe her if that was the only time she cheated. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.